My name is Anthony Barone, and I'm a digital cinematography student at Full Sail University. In this short documentary, I'll be exploring the evolution of the musical film genre, from its humble beginnings in the 1920s to the spectacular productions we see today. Over the last century, musicals have grown alongside society, technology, and the art of storytelling itself. It all began in the Roaring '20s, when sound met film. The Jazz Singer, the Broadway Melody, and Showboat changed everything. Audiences were hearing synchronized music and dialogue for the very first time. The musical was born, and cinema would never be the same again. As the Great Depression hit, people turned to musicals for escape. Top Hat dazzled with elegance and style. March of the Wooden Soldiers brought childhood fantasy to life. And in 1939, The Wizard of Oz transported audiences from black and white reality into a world bursting with color and imagination. The 1940s reflected a world at war and a country rebuilding. Yankee Doodle Dandy lifted spirits with its patriotic energy. Meanwhile, On the Town took the musical off the soundstage and into the real streets of New York City. The 50s defined the musical's golden age. Singin' in the Rain celebrated Hollywood itself, turning the transition to sound into pure joy and choreography perfection. It reminded audiences that the musicals weren't just entertainment. They were art in motion. The 1960s stretched the musical's emotion range. The Sound of Music and Mary Poppins filled hearts with emotion and hope and wonder. West Side Story brought realism and tragedy to the modern American stage. Babes in Toyland carried on the tradition of whimsy. And Bye Bye Birdie captured the teenage craze of the rock and roll era, proving pop culture could dance its way onto the big screen. The 70s flipped the genre on its head. The Rocky Horror Picture Show celebrated chaos, freedom, and self-expression. The Wiz reimagined a classic from African-American culture and soul. And Grease brought youthful rebellion and catchy nostalgia that still resonates decades later. By the 80s, musicals embraced the MTV generation. Annie kept Broadway alive on screen. The Little Shop of Horrors mixed horror, comedy, and unforgettable music. And Footloose proved that pop soundtracks could carry cinematic stories all on their own. The 90s revived the musical through new voices and new media. Disney led the charge with Beauty and the Beast and Newsies, combining animation with Broadway storytelling. Meanwhile, The Bodyguard blurred the line between film and music video, showing how one powerful song can define an entire movie. In the 2000s and beyond, the musical was reborn once again. Moulin Rouge exploded with modern mashups and fast-cut style. Chicago reinvented the classic stage musical for a new century. Rent brought raw realism and social relevance to the screen. And The Greatest Showman reminded audiences that spectacular and sincerity still have a place in modern cinema. From tap shoes to pop anthems, musicals have mirrored our culture, our dreams, and our emotions for over a century. They remind us that cinema isn't only about what we see, it's about what we feel. My name is Anthony Barone, and this has been the evolution of musicals throughout the decades.